Alright guys, I'm going to show you how I speed dip my traps. So I do this about every year, every second year, depending on how hard the traps get used. And like I say, we're 2 weeks out from trapping season now. If you're going to do canine traps, I wouldn't recommend doing them this late in the year. Usually do them first this spring and then leave them hang and sit. Hang them in a tree, wherever you got to, so you get all the scent off them. But for underwater traps and muskrat and beaver traps, it's not a big deal. They'll dry and there won't be any scent to them. So this is what I use. This is a speed dip, Andy Stowe speed dip. It's a quick dry formula, and you mix it with one can to 5 liters of Supreme gas. It's better to use the Supreme gas. It'll burn a little better and it'll give you a lot better finish. So anyway, so what you do is take your 5 liters of gas, pour it into an old plastic tote, something cheap. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Use the whole 5 liters. Say this times being as hard as they are. This stings. That little bit of Supreme gas and the price of it right now, it's pretty expensive stuff. Anyway, the directions here, it says mix 1 quart of speed dip to 1 gallon of unleaded gasoline. Well, 1 gallon is 5 liters. So now we gotta get the clips off. Should have a pair of, let's see here. Yeah, this will probably work. So yeah, we gotta get these. They got little black clips on them here. We gotta get these off. There you go. So this is gonna have the same consistency as paint pretty well. She's one-time use. So you pour it in. Get as much of that speed dip in there out of the can as you can get. So now if you've got a digging tool that's got a little bit of rust onto it, here's a good time to get that dyed up. Use that to mix everything around. Say it'll only dye if you've got the whole thing covered in rust. I say, and I'll have all of the finish on this pretty well taken off anyway by the time the trapping season's over. There she is, she's all mixed in. You can see it turned all that rust black. This is pretty good stuff. It's quick and easy. You don't have to worry about having a big boiling pot or anything like that. Here we go. Here's one of my big 330 conibears, 330 Belle-Isle. Some guys know them as conibears. I don't know if you can see that. This is an old trap. She's pretty well. She's got a lot of rust on her. But what we'll do here is you try to get everything laying as flat as you can. And all you do is simply dip your trap into it. Slosh it around. Make sure that trap gets 100% covered. Put it in the other side up. Slosh her around a little bit. Let the excess drain off. Then I got a chicken coop here that's got no chickens in it, so I'll rest them dyed traps right there on the chicken coop run. So let's take a look here. These 220s here, they don't need dyed, they're still in pretty good shape. But I've got some brand new 330s I've been letting soak outside all winter, or all summer rather. So these traps here, they've got some rust on them. Same thing, set her in there, slosh her around, get her good and covered. See, they look, right now they look like they're coming out brown and rusty, but once this dries, they'll turn a jet black like the rest of my traps. Now I always got a little stick with a hook on it. You can get this on your hands, it's not going to hurt you any. It's not recommended to put on your hands, but then flip her around, let her soak in there a bit more. Now these here are all Canadian made traps. They're Belle Isles, they're made out of Quebec. One of the strongest traps you can buy. Best quality. Hard to beat. So she's all the same. Stick her in there. Flip her on its other side. Slosh her around a bit. Shake off the excess. Hang it up. I always laugh because you get looking at these traps when you take them out and they just look like they're rusty and wet. But I'll show you what they look like when they dry. Like I said, I've sat these traps outside all summer long. There's grass growing all up through them and everything. These are going to be used here in another couple weeks. Like I said, we're 2 weeks away from trapping season. I wanted these to have a real good coating of rust on them. So these 330s here, these are the beaver trap. These Belle Isles, you get a beaver caught in one of these traps, it stops him stone dead in his tracks. One of the most humane traps you can buy. It's the power on them alone is just, it's unreal. I say you don't need to leave your traps in there very long, just enough to get them covered, that's all you need. So I'll take you over and show you what they start to look like here. So here's my chicken coop run that I hang my traps on after I've dyed them. You can see this guy here is already starting to turn black. These guys I just did, they're still brown and wet looking. But they'll turn a dark black. All right, I'll get the rest. I'll get this one last one dyed up for you. Don't wear good clothes doing this. I've made that mistake a couple times thinking, oh, I can do this without getting messy. No. I'm doing good so far. I've already got dye there. I've come out before thinking, oh, I can do this without getting dirty. No. This doesn't happen. It's not possible. Alright, I'll get the rest of these traps dyed up and I'll bring you back in a minute. There's not all my traps, but there's a big chunk of them. You can dye your traps pretty quick with Speed Dip. That didn't take me but, oh, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. You see now they're all black. See, I still got some back here. Still got some in the side by side, but like I said, that's basically it. So here's the first two traps that I put in, and you can see they're turning black real nice. Now after a couple coats or a couple years, they'll be really black like this one. You can see the difference between these two. That's brown and that's black. That'll turn black, but it'll take a day or two. So yeah, other than that, that's how I dye my traps. And it's a good idea to dye your traps. It helps take care of them. It makes them last a little bit longer. You can see I still got a lot left, so I'll probably throw these other traps that don't need dyed. I'll throw them in anyway. And yeah, so that's that. I'm looking forward to a good trapping season. I got the fur shed all rigged up and ready to go, and I'm gonna have a heat pump installed in it tomorrow, and it should be pretty good. We'll have lots of regulated heat in there and lots of room to put up some fur. I'm getting excited. Alright guys, well, we'll see you in the next one.